Penultimate segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias starts with there being more credit cards than there are government workers. It starts with there being people over 110, 120, 130, 140 on the rolls for Social Security. And while some may say, oh, nobody's getting those checks, that's kind of the point. Nobody over 130 is getting a check. Someone else is getting that check who is not 130 years old. Somebody else is using that extra credit card that has a $10,000 limit. Doge is doing exactly what a lot of people, in my opinion, voted for. Doge is starting to uncover all the little things in the background that your elected officials didn't want you or me or anybody else to really know about. The crew here in the Top Secret Podcast Lair is all over it. We'll start with Mike Trammell. What are you thinking, Mike?
So I think somebody was it 300 years old?
One person was like 300 years old, something like that.
How? That's older than the nation, right?
Yes. That is, you've got multiple people older than the nation. That's a whole thing.
How has that never been caught?
So let's play devil's advocate here. It's a typo. Somebody, instead of typing, born in 1976, typed born in 1697.
But Kavan, if I type on my tax statement, I profited 20,000 instead of 200,000, you don't think they're going to come back and audit me?
Well, here's the thing.
And
if somebody is on the roll that has a typo and you look at it, there should be something in the system that removes someone who is no longer alive. So the question becomes, well, wait a minute. Are we removing people from Social Security rolls? Because this is the one question that nobody asks. Have we removed people from Social Security rolls? And I guarantee you the answer is yes. I guarantee you people have passed and they have been removed. What triggers that? Who knows? Is it possible that it's a typo? It is highly possible that it's a typo. Is it probable that it's a typo? Probably not. And here's why.
Not millions of times.
That's the thing. There are millions of these errors. Millions of these errors. So you're telling me that we have that many typos? What's more likely is someone figured out, hey, if you work at the Social Security office and you keep this person on the roll and I get the check, I can cash it, you can profit, I can profit, and nobody knows.
No.
That to me is, look, call me a cynic. As my father used to say, a fence is there to keep an honest man honest. There are no fences here. None. There are no fences when you've got more purchasing credit cards that are unchecked. Because, you think, oh, well, they're probably rectifying everything that's on those credit. They're not. I can tell you this. If there's one thing I know from the last 15 years of my life dealing with businesses and how they purchase, it's that 90% of businesses out there have no idea exactly what they're buying. They just have it on a purchasing card. They then have another process to purchase that might be for maybe planned purchases or raw materials. They then have another way to purchase for things that are emergency items. There are multiple ways to purchase, and they can't ever rectify. The best-in-class businesses still don't know what they're buying, much less the federal government. Eli?
Well, I was going to say, along with the credit cards, when I was on active duty, we were required to apply and acquire a travel card that was in our name. Mm-hmm. But here's where my big concern is. If I didn't spend it, if I didn't travel with the military, I didn't file an expense report, I didn't pay a monthly fee on that credit card. I've never had a credit card that if you don't spend any money, the credit card is free. So if all those credit cards are not closed out when the person is no longer working, is the government picking up that fee And
Well,
then-
they have to be.
and so
It's pure waste.
who's in bed with the credit card companies that, you know what? And that's what they'll say. Oh, well, these cards are activated, but nobody's spending any money on them.
But we're paying to have the
But
cards.
we're paying $40 a month for millions of credit cards.
Ring the bell.
And,
yeah.
and then it's clear. It's like, oh, well, we just forgot to close the account. But somebody's getting money.
And the best part is you've got people out there who are more upset with the people exposing the waste than they are about the waste. Remember when we said people will tell you who they are, and when they do, we should believe them? The mouth speaks what comes from the heart. Freudian slips are a thing. Walker, you've got the Freudian slip queued up. This is what a U.S. lawmaker actually said on the record in front of everyone.
You don't care about this country, and that is unacceptable if you claim to be the president of the United States. So we are here. We are not going anywhere. We are going to continue to fight back, and we are going to continue to speak lies to his truth.
Isn't he working for free?
I don't know if he is committed to giving his salary this time, but the first time he had to take his salary and then donated all of it to charitable organizations.
Okay, so we were talking on a commercial break earlier. If you came into all this money, you definitely wouldn't be doing stuff like this. You would be doing your own thing, sitting on an island. Don't you think that's what he could be doing right now?
Well, that's another huge question about this entire scenario, which is why would someone who has no need to put themselves through what that man has been through in the last 12 years, why would he continue to do that when he doesn't have to?
Because he cares.
I don't know that I disagree with you.
I agree wholeheartedly. You're right. Some people, and I can see why Trump isn't liked by everybody. Yeah, he's hard to like. He's kind of bombastic, but some guy, I like it. I like what I see, but he's hard not to like in the aspect that I know he loves his country. All right. Elon Musk said it not long ago about the ridiculous talk about being beholden to Putin, like being bought out by Putin. He can't afford me.
Yeah, that was Elon's response.
That's what's bugged me since 2016 or 2015 when Trump came down the elevator. Is that why would the narrative ever start that we finally have a self-made billionaire that runs successfully for the office, isn't beholden to any nonprofit, isn't beholden to anybody, any of the fundraisers, the people that donate to the campaigns. Our entire life, people my age, everyone else in the room, every person we've ever elected president owed money to a lot of different people. Donald Trump was an exception to that.
Okay, so
and they started the most terrible thing about him being beholden to the leader of another country ridiculously.
So I need you to stop there and think for a second. The accusation has been he's there to steal your money. Now look, I am not a fan of what Donald Trump has done with regards to the whole Trump coin thing. That's a bad look. I don't know exactly what happened. It's a bad look and it looks criminal. I will tell you it looks criminal. But what I will say is this. When I talk about people opening their mouths and telling you who they are, the one thing that they have all said is he's there because he is bought by Putin. They've all said he is taking money, he's profiteering, he's doing all this stuff. The man is worth $4 billion before his media companies went public and made him way more money than he was already worth with the options that came from the stock, which means why are they saying he's there to be bought? Because
projection.
It's all they know. All they know is go in not overly wealthy, come out ridiculously wealthy. Go in like the Clintons and come out of being president in debt to the point where you are taking things that the National Archives made you return to the White House because they tried to steal the silverware. Please don't believe me. Please look this up. To all of a sudden being worth hundreds of millions of dollars. To the Obamas who are now worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That's all they know. And they can't fathom a politician who doesn't need to be bought. We will come back. Final segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio is right around the corner.